I was storing a few pairs of cowboy boots in my basement, but because of all the rain that we've had this summer up in the Northeast, the basement flooded a few times this summer already, and the boots that I was storing down there got moldy. So today I have 3 pairs of cowboy boots that have different levels of mold on them. I'm gonna show you how gross they are, what I'm gonna do to clean them up, and why some of them have different amounts of mold than others. So get ready, this one is gonna be gross.
I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way.
So I have boots that I don't wear as often as others, or that I just don't like, so I store them in the basement while I'm waiting to sell them or to do future videos on them, like use them for examples and things. And this summer has been really rainy, and the basement of this house is really old and uneven, so that kind of creates the perfect storm for the basement to flood. And even when there isn't as much rain, because the basement is so uneven, there's areas where there's just standing water. Even after, you take the shop vac to it, it's very difficult to get all of the water out of this basement. This is the first summer that we've lived here, so I'm learning everything that there is to know about that basement, including the fact that if I leave boots down there, they will mold just because it's been so rainy and it's such a wet area down there anyways. So I have 3 examples here of boots that I left down there. Let's first start with these Thursday boots here that I did a video on this winter and just put them down in the basement because I don't like them at all. They make me physically angry whenever I wear them. So I don't really care that they're moldy, but we're still going to use them as an example and clean them up a little bit. As you can see on these really gross Thursday Desperado boots, we got strings of mold here on the toe and lots of nasty stuff on the heel. Ugh, look at that, gross. Here it's mostly on the leather, from the leather welt to the leather foot and the leather stack heel back here, but very little on the outsole itself. Let's take a look at these Larry Mahans next. This is an example where this boot is a smooth ostrich boot, and we do have some molding on the ostrich itself, on the foot, on the welt, and also significant molding on the leather outsole. So here on this boot, the leather outsole is providing a place for this mold to just thrive. This is gonna make for a good before and after because damn, this is gross. On the complete opposite side of things is this Twisted X boot. This uses leather Twix. I believe that's what Twisted X calls this, and it's leather pieces, leather scraps that's mixed with other fibers that they can make boots with. So as you can see, the mold really doesn't like this at all. And these were all in very similar areas on shelves in the basement towards the bottom, close to where the water was, which is why there is so much mold on these boots. And this one here, because it uses mainly synthetic materials, isn't molding at all. Even the inside, which is cloth, I'm not seeing very much mold at all, if any. Let's take out the insole, the removable insole here, and see what we got. Yeah, there's maybe a little bit here, just starting to show on the removable insole, but other than that, there's really no mold at all on this, except for maybe the welt. Maybe just the dirt and grime that was on this welt is molding. That's the only natural material here that could mold. So we're seeing very different mold levels depending on how much leather there is, whether there's a rubber outsole, and the amount of synthetic materials that make up a cowboy boot. Still, I'm going to clean these all in the same way. I'm going to clean them up. We'll see how they are. I know probably many of you, if you saw a boot like this in your basement with an outsole this moldy, this nasty, you'd just be like, screw it, I'm throwing it out. And I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. I would probably do that too if I didn't need the content and you guys wouldn't find it helpful. So I know this will probably be a helpful video for many of you, even just for entertainment value, because it is so gross looking. So I'm gonna clean these up, but otherwise, because I hate these Thursday boots so much, and if you wanna know why, you can watch the video about them that I did, I would probably just throw these out otherwise, because I kind of regret even buying these in the first place. So I'm still going to clean them up, and the way that I'm going to do that is with a 50-50 rubbing alcohol to water mixture. All right, so I have my isopropyl alcohol and some water here in this little Tupperware, and I'm going to just put it in. Like 50-50 is a general idea of what it could be. In fact, there's a little bit much in here. I'm going to pour a little bit out. It doesn't have to be exact 50-50, as long as it's close. We're not running a chemistry lab or anything. So I'm just going to sort of just put it in here a little bit. The main fact is that there is water to mix with the alcohol, because the rubbing alcohol will work better when it is mixed with water. It's just how it works. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is grab a rag and then I guess start on one of these Thursday boots. It's so gross. All right, so I'm gonna dip my rag in the isopropyl alcohol and water mixture, get it nice and damp here, and then we're just going to take the Thursday boot here. Oh, look at this grossness. And wipe off the mold. There we go. Oh, gross. This is the first time I've ever done this on the channel. It's coming right off though, really easy. Ugh. All right, we got a lot of the mold off, but there is still some inside the welt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little fingernail brush, this plastic bristle brush, and get some alcohol water mixture on it, and then just brush inside that welt to get the extra mold that's hidden away in here, in these difficult to reach areas that you can't really get with a rag. Like here underneath the counter too, we're gonna go in there and just scrub out that mold that's gotten into the stitching and in between the foot and the welt. Right, you just get right in there, you see it. Get right in there with that mixture. If you didn't want to use rubbing alcohol, you can also use vinegar. I just like the fact that the alcohol is going to be killing everything for sure. And also I don't like the smell of vinegar, but you do what you want to do. Just make sure that if you use rubbing alcohol, that you also condition afterwards, which we will make a step. But first we need to get all that nasty mold off, and there we go. All the nasty mold is off. We're just gonna let these boots dry and clean up the other one, because that one's still nasty. And for good measure, I'm gonna take an extra rag now that these are all done on the outside and just sort of clean up the inside a little bit. I'm not noticing any mold on the inside right now, but just to be safe, you might as well clean the inside. If the outside was that bad, the inside can't be that great. So might as well just take a little pass with a different rag, because the other rag was for the outside and it was looking pretty nasty, so I got a new one. And we're just gonna disinfect the inside as well. There we go. Now for the other boot. Now we're gonna set them aside, let them dry, and get at these nasty looking Larry Mahans. Ugh. Use the same rag, might as well. Let's just do one big swipe on this moldy sole. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, this is gross. Now for the brush along the welt, and let them dry. Let's do it again. And just like the other ones, they aren't looking really bad at all on the inside. There is no evidence of mold. It looks pretty good if you can see it. I can't really see it. It's kind of dark. But it looks good. I'm still going to make a pass with the other rag just to play it safe. All right, now we're going to let those dry, and I'll clean up these Twisted X Tech X ones, even though they look fine. They still could use a little cleaning. And there we go. It's still really, really wet, and might as well take the other one to it here. I'll throw these in the washer, these insoles, but I'm still going to just make a pass. And this is a cloth-lined boot all the way through, mesh at the top, cloth around the foot. Still not seeing very much mold on the cloth, if any at all. I'm not seeing pretty much any mold, if you can see. I know the lighting is really messed up. It just looks dark in there. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any evidence of mold at all. But still, it's nice to take a pass with the rag just to disinfect it a little bit, because hey, you never know. You can't really see bacterias anyways, so we're going to take care of it just to be safe. And there we go. Now we'll just set these aside to dry as well, and it looks like we can revisit these Thursday boots now. All right, so the Thursday boots are looking much better, cleaned up. They're drying out really, really well. Still a little wet in areas, but it's looking much, much better already. Next thing I'm gonna do is just take a cleaning and conditioning method to these, and since it's a distressed leather, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some saddle soap just to clean up everything off of it, and then use a distressed leather conditioner to, you know, combat against everything, the mold and the alcohol and the saddle soap, all of which can dry out these leathers if we don't do anything else. So no matter what you do to your boots, if you use alcohol, vinegar, then clean them, also remember to condition them, because they will need conditioning after everything, after all of that. I mean, wouldn't you want some conditioning after that? Give me a break. All right, so we have some new water without any alcohol in it, and I also cleaned off my brush to get rid of anything that was left on that so that we can use it for the saddle soap. So we're gonna get the brush wet, rub it in the saddle soap here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Let's clean these boots. And then just scrub the boot with it. Once we're done scrubbing it, we're gonna take a new rag, a clean rag, and wipe off the excess soap. Brush off any extra little bits and set them aside to dry. Now it's time for the other boot. Now we'll let this one dry and do the same thing to the Larry Mahan ostrich ropers. I use saddle soap on ostrich leather just because it's a really tough leather, and you know, it's underrated, especially smooth ostrich, because it's such a thin, durable, supple leather. It's really tough too, so I never had a problem with using saddle soap on it. Twisted X's are dry now, so let's do these as well. All right, finished up the Twisted X boots. Gonna let them dry for a little bit, and let's revisit these Thursday boots now. They could probably use a little bit more drying. Actually, we're gonna let everything dry for a little bit longer, and then we'll come back to it and condition. All right, the Thursday boots are dry enough, and since it uses a distressed leather of sorts, I'm going to use a distressed leather conditioner from Scout. Works really well. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna put some on the boot and then rub it in with my hands. I'm gonna let it dry again and do the other one. There we go. Now we're just gonna let them both dry, and in the meantime, we will condition the ostrich leather boots. I'm going to use an exotic leather conditioner. This is actually meant for reptiles or exotic skins. So this is an exotic. The thing that I like about this Angelus exotic conditioner is that it buffs really nice and creates a nice shine. So I'm just gonna spray this down, let it dry, and then buff it out so it shines a little bit. I'm gonna rub the conditioner in there, and once it's all set, we're gonna let it dry a little bit, then we will buff it out, just so the conditioner sets, so I'm not like rubbing away any extra conditioner that could have set within the leather. Now we'll do this boot. All right, so the Twisted X Leather Twix boots here have dried up nice. I'm just gonna use Bic 4 on these since it's a good all-around conditioner, and it will be fine with just this regular conditioner. Now to condition this boot, and there we go. These are pretty much good, so we'll just let them dry. Once the exotic conditioner has set on the ostrich, we can take a clean, dry rag and just start buffing it a little bit, and we'll see it shine up. That's one of the things that I like about this exotic conditioner, is that it does shine up kind of nice. It's not gonna give you as much shine as a boot cream or a wax polish, but it's still kind of nice. Better than the Bic 4, so I like to use it for that reason. So we'll just keep buffing this up until we have a nice shine on it. And there we go. Looks great. We got a nice shine on the ostrich. Just gonna buff up the other one to finish it off. There we go, looking good. These boots are done. Now that the distressed leather conditioner has set in this Thursday boot, I'm going to take a different plastic bristle brush and just rough up those fibers a little bit. See, look at that. You rough up the fibers a little bit and bring back that distressed nature, and it looks really cool. That's the whole point of having a distressed leather conditioner, is so that you can make it look a little bit distressed, and that's what the plastic bristle brush is for. You can see the difference here between the front and the back. You know, that's what it was in the front. We take the plastic bristle brush to it, rough up those fibers a little bit, and give it more of that distressed look. Pretty cool, huh? And there you have it, the distressed leather look. Here is what it looks like side by side. When you don't do that, I hope it's coming through okay. As you can see, this one looks a lot more light, a lot more distressed than what it does with the conditioner, but without brushing. See? It's kind of a cool little difference there that you get with a distressed leather conditioner. It really brings out the cool natural features of a distressed leather when you take a plastic bristle brush to it after the conditioner has dried. Now I'm just gonna rough up the fibers on this one. There you have it. These ones are done now, and I'm done for the day. You know, another thing that I could do to these boots, especially these Thursday boots here, and probably a little bit to the ostrich boots, is do some edge dressing along the side here, just to bring some color back into that welt and this heel. But I don't have time for that today. I gotta do other stuff. So we're just gonna leave them the way that they are, but if you wanted to, you could take it that extra step and do some edge dressing as well. Let's take a final look at these three boots. They're obviously looking so much better, guys. The Larry Mahans were looking nasty on the outsole. As you can see now, no mold left. They look really healthy and are actually in a dress boot shape right now with the shine that I have on these. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. The mold might have looked nasty when we pulled them out of the box, but they are in great shape again. Super interesting how the leather Twix here, which is a combination of leather scraps and other fibers, did not mold nearly as much as the boots that use real leather through and through. As you saw, I think that the ostrich probably had the worst amount of mold on it itself. The distressed leather of these Thursdays had a little bit as well, but none on these Twisted X Tech X boots with their leather Twix material. Let me know what you guys think of this extremely gross video. but I'm really happy with how all the boots turned out. Thank you so much for watching today. I think if there's one thing that we can learn from this is that maybe don't store your boots in the basement if you live in a wet area. This is my first time at this house. We just started renting it late summer, so things haven't been in there that long. This is the first summer that I've stored boots down there. I'm not gonna do it again. I have no idea where I'm gonna put these things now, but that's a problem for another time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Boots will get moldy in the basement. They're gonna mold away. You won't know where they went. Thank you so much for watching today. Why don't you check out this other video that I did cleaning up a moldy used pair of boots that I found. Just slightly moldy. Or I got a music video down here I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Peace. Have a good one.